Did everyone? Thank you, Jane.
Hmm.
I am Beth Hendricks. I think I know everybody here now that I've had the pleasure of meeting Cheryl. Um, so I don't really feel the need to introduce myself. But I would really like to introduce my colleagues on the off chance you haven't met them yet. Jane Dunk, our operations manager, and Katina Frierson, our communications development manager. Our fearless leader, our president, Irene Tynes, about 25 minutes ago was called away to an emergency LWVUS meeting at noon. So we don't know what that's about. I'm very curious myself. So I hope she'll be able to jump on at about 12:30. But in the meantime, let's do a quick round of introductions. Okay, I will introduce myself. I'm Beth Hendricks, the Executive Director of the State League. Thank you all for being here. And I will call off names to keep things hopefully running smoothly. Linda.
Okay, I'm Linda Hutchinson. My local league is Larimer County League, and I'm on the Statewide News Access and Literacy Task Force.
Thank you. Cheryl.
Jill, did you say?
Okay, let's do Jill. Sure.
I thought I heard Gerald, but I didn't see a Gerald. My name is Jill Smith, and I'm the secretary of the Arapahoe Douglas County's League and key contact.
Cheryl Jameson.
Hi, I just moved here. I'm retired from the United States Environmental Protection Agency, Region 3. I'm an attorney, although I'm not admitted in Colorado. I'm admitted in Connecticut. And I was formerly, before I became an attorney for EPA, I was a public librarian.
Excellent. Great. Maud.
Greetings, Maud, Enroll Local League Arapahoe Douglas, and co-director for Action and Advocacy with the State League.
Hey, Thalia.
I'm with the local Gunnison Valley League and am also chair of the Statewide Healthcare Task Force and a member of LAC and a brand new member of the Board of Directors.
Brenda.
Yeah, I'm also with the Gunnison League. I'm president of our local league, and I've been peripherally involved with both the reproduction task force and the voting methods. Unfortunately, haven't been too involved recently, but they're both great task forces.
Great, thanks. Kathy.
I'm Kathy Wilson. My local league is Larimer, and I'm on the board, the state board, and I co-direct with Maud for Action and Advocacy. And I'm going to not have my video on because I'm having a little shaky reception here.
Kathy Marr.
Hi, I'm Kathy Marr. I'm with the Larimer League. I'm a board member for the Larimer League, and I'm on the Legislative Action Committee and with Linda on the News Access and Literacy Task Force.
Dan. Dan Moorman.
Oh, hi. It's Jan Moorman. I'm with the Mesa County League and currently on the leadership team.
Deb Stetler.
Hi, I'm Deb Stetler, also with Mesa County, and I'm the Voter Services Coordinator.
Donna,
I'm with Gunnison Valley League, and I'm an ex officio member of the leadership team.
Karen,
I'm Karen Cheek. I'm with the Montezuma County League. I am also on the state board and am responsible for local league support.
Norma.
Oh, so I'm Norma Shuttle, and I'm with the Arapahoe Douglas County League. And since I have fewer duties now for my HOA, I'm trying to learn more about what leaguers do and the process, and just trying to learn more and be more involved. I'm just gradually working my way in.
Excellent. Thank you. Margie.
I am Margie Gray with Chaffey County, which is Buena Vista, Salida, Poncha Springs. And I just wanted to add, after the school board elections, our superintendent reached out and asked us if we could maybe host something. There was a lot of misinformation during the campaign for school board. So we're hosting a drinks and dialogue event tonight, and it's called Let's Talk. And we've invited people, so we hope we have a good turnout, that the superintendent and a couple of the board members can talk and people can ask questions. And so I thought that was nice. She reached out to us, but they felt that during the campaign, candidates said things and so did people asking questions. So might be something others might like to do sometime.
Awesome, Margie. Thanks. Yet another elected official coming to the league for accurate information. Kathy Long.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Well, we have a mayor and trustees coming up for election in April, and the town clerk got in touch with us and asked us, when do we want to have our forums? So again, I'm thrilled because they're recognizing the value of the league forums.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kathy. Jane Hamburger.
Hi, I'm sorry if you said anything to me before. I'm breaking in a new computer and all kinds of buttons that have to get restarted. I'm Jane Hamburger with the president of the Larimer County League and part of the steering committee for the hydraulic fracturing amendment that's going through our climate emergency task force, asking you to please respond to the survey, read the draft report and the amendment, and let us hear from you. We want to hear both the goods and the bads and the ugly. So thanks.
Barb.
Barbara Dungy with Arapahoe and Douglas. Oh wait, wrong Barb. Sorry. Do Barb
I don't know
Winnery
what's the
first.
right or wrong, Barb.
Barb, you go first.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Barb. Good afternoon. I mean, Barbara, maybe. I'm Barb Winnery from Greeley Weld County. I'm the voter service coordinator up here. I'm also on their leadership team. I serve on the state board as co-director of voter service. And I sometimes sit in on election task force. So thank you.
Thanks. Okay, why don't you go ahead, Barbara Dungy?
Okay, Barbara Dungy, Arapahoe and Douglas counties on the management team. And I'm dedicating February to getting petition signatures for Initiative 89. So that's my goal for February, just so you know.
Excellent. Nancy. Oh, you're muted, Nancy.
I'm Nancy Griffith, and my local chapter is Jeffco. I just recently joined League of Women Voters in January, so I'm just trying to learn more about the organization, the people, and what you all are doing.
Excellent. Welcome. Glad you're here. Sonia.
I'm Sonia Ketting. I'm going without picture today because I'm in a public setting, actually. And I'm with the Larimer League, and I have been with League a while and done a number of things, but most recently I'm focused on Observer Corps.
Pat Long.
Hi, Pat Long. I'm with Boulder County. I'm the treasurer up here and on the board and sort of into a lot of things.
Great. Jane Dunk, would you like to say hi?
Hello, Jane Dunk, Operations Manager for the league in State League. Sorry.
Katina?
And I am Katina Frierson, the Development and Communications Manager at the State League.
Okay. Well, oh, and Chris Humphreys is here. Chris, you just joined. You're muted. Do you want to say hello and introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Chris Humphrey, Director of Volunteer Voter Service and other things.
That is true. Chris serves both on the state board and the Denver board. Okay, let's get going. I'm figuring you all know that the 2024 legislative session is underway at the state capitol. This means that our Legislative Action Committee, our trained group of volunteer lobbyists, is in full swing. We really want to hear what's important to your league. We want feedback. Even if you're not on the LAC, we would like to hear if your league has feedback on a particular bill. I think we all remember Prop 213 last year, the big land use bill. The LAC had voted to promote that. And then I heard from several members of our local leagues who were unhappy about that. While it's going to happen at times, we sure would like to avoid that. So let us know, talk to us if you hear about something that you don't like. I hope you all know how to access our bill tracker on our state website. You can find our bill tracker at any time under the Take Action, then go to Legislative Action Report, and right here, 2024 Master Bill Tracker. These are all of the bills that the LAC has taken a position on at this time. This is very much a living document. It's going to get a lot longer very soon, like tomorrow. This is where you can find out what the LAC is doing, and don't hesitate. Any questions there? Okay. There has been some discussion, and it seems like this is a talk that we should have on a regular basis, which is what's the difference between political and nonpartisan? How can we be both? And how is it legal for a nonprofit to advocate, to lobby? First of all, we all know that or maybe we do, I hope we all know that the league was organized as a political, nonpartisan organization. Political means associated with politics. Just about everything we do is associated with politics. Partisan means associated with a political party. Nothing the league does is associated with a political party, so we are nonpartisan while being highly political. Any questions there? But that's the nutshell elevator speech. Now, how are leagues able to lobby? It's absolutely legal. We are, I'm going to put in the chat a link to a document that the Colorado Nonprofit Association puts out regularly called Principles and Practices for Colorado Nonprofit Excellence. On page 5 of this document, or of this booklet, you will be able to read about how nonprofits can legally advocate. So if you have any questions there, please don't hesitate to ask. Jane, did you want to say, Jane Hamburger, did you want to say anything more about your fracking amendment? Did you want to put in another plug there? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I just was looking for the newly placed unmute button. We have started, it came out of our program planning of last year to look at the current hydraulic fracturing amendment that is in the Colorado positions now. It was written and accepted in 2013, and our purpose was to take into account all of the legislation that has gone in and updated in the past 10 years. So what we discovered as we were doing the research on this is that this crosses a lot of different things that then were included in the 2013 position. So we have looked more at the impact and the DEI, environmental justice, and so it has become more of an amendment for Colorado League to take a position on oil and gas development. So that's where we are, and in the process, we created a timeline so this could play out over the year that began with acceptance by the Colorado League and our local league to work on this, and through a newly drafted amendment statement, amendment process. So that's what we're following. And I sent out a memo this morning saying that it's a reminder we've created a survey of our draft position, our amendment draft, and the resources draft that went into all of these looks at air quality, water quality, and the newly added things. It includes a survey asking, is it broad enough that we don't lock us into a definite stand on a position, but can be interpreted in many different ways? Is it including enough variety of perspectives on this so that we feel like we have a balanced approach across Colorado, and it is staying as a Colorado amendment? And just your general thoughts on this. I want to emphasize that it is a draft because it includes a timeline that says where we are right now is asking for input from all the different affected local leagues. We know that it's going to be a lot different look for the economic aspect than it is from the impact, the environmental justice. And so we need to factor all that in. And we need to hear from you. So I think you're going to get, the Climate Emergency Task Force is who is helping us through this. So they will be sending out a reminder that includes all those documents in for the survey and all the things that you'll need to be able to respond in the survey. And I've sent it, the reminder to Karen Sheik, who can also send it to all local leagues. And your part is, if you would please, to send it out to your members that are interested in this. At Larimer County, we operate through teams, and we have an environmental action team. But I know different local leagues are organized in different ways. So whoever you think might be interested in responding to your input so that we can reshape that and get it out to the Colorado board to see what we have. And if they approve of this, we will then spend the period between late March and through April contacting the different local leagues to talk with you about this so that you feel better educated on the amendment so that we can vote on this as delegates at the annual Colorado meeting. So that may be more than you wanted to know about it, but that's kind of where we are with it. And, you know, I'm also very interested in where we are with the league's acceptance of the Observer Corps too. So when you get around to sharing that information, Beth, that'd be great too. So just a
Sure.
status report. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the 2024 presidential primary. Yes, let's all.
It's a joke.
Obviously, things are a little up in the air still, but
Yes.
LWVCO is a member of the Just Vote Colorado Coalition. This is part of the national network of election protection. So Just Vote Colorado just put out, I just put it in the chat, a document that gives all of the important dates around the presidential primary, when ballots will be mailed, when voter service and polling centers will be open, things like that. So while, you know, of course, this is a federal election, so we kind of stay out of these. You may very well have voters with questions, and hopefully you can give them answers. Brenda.
Yeah, Beth, is the league involved in any way with the lawsuit that the GOP filed against unaffiliated voters voting in the primary?
No. We are not. Deb?
Will Vote 411 be active for the presidential primary?
Yes.
Okay.
We're always active.
And I don't know what date, but I will find that out and let you all know.
Okay.
It's
thanks.
typically a month before the election, so I would think it would be February 5th.
Mm-hmm.
But I will confirm that.
Thanks.
Kathy Long?
I would be curious to see if anyone else has a county clerk that has reduced their voter service center hours. In Estes Park, the Larimer County clerk has reduced them from 120 to 20.
Wow. Ooh.
So we have a lot of groups here who are working on getting them restored. But I wondered if this was happening anywhere else in Colorado.
No.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, me too. That's really strange.
What was the rationale for that? Do you know?
Well, one reason was that they needed more election judges. And so we've done a big push and have many from all sides who have applied to do that. And the other was the number of people using the voter service center. In the last general election, it was almost 600 people. And so reducing it to 2 days, 3 days is instead of 7, we feel that is not enough.
I thought it was mandated by state law how long the
I know. And that's one part of a petition. We do have a comment period from February 29th to April 29th. And we have a letter sort of reminding the county clerk of these statutes that it appears that she is not following.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, because as long as we registered in Colorado, we could vote, we could work to vote at any office we want to. We don't have to go to like Denver or whatever. We could go to any.
Right.
It works. So I don't know why they would do that.
So we don't know why either. Those are the two reasons we were given. And so we're just pushing back against that and getting more election judges.
Right.
Yeah,
Please.
let me know. I would volunteer to go.
Yeah, please be in touch about that, Kathy. If there's any way we can offer support, let me know.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Beth.
Going back around the no, Margie, we don't yet have a deadline for ballot pamphlets. We're working on that, but that will be in early
March.
No, not till September. So we've got a little time there. I believe I mentioned that Barbara Winery and I are working on combining a whole bunch of resources into one comprehensive resource on candidate forums. We are doing this so that we can all come to consensus and around the kind of structure and things that we say at candidate forums. We all know that things are highly polarized, and it's a lot easier to offend someone these days, frankly. And we think for our own general safety and reputation, as well as, continuing the vein of speaking with one voice, we might be able to develop some statewide policies around candidate forums. And so we will be talking to you about that more as Barb and I get a little farther into that process. But boy, is it on our minds. She and I have spent hours talking about this. So now it's time to get it onto paper and get it out to you all so you can all give us your ideas, your thoughts on this, your feedback. Somebody mentioned litigation. And I'm going to give you a quick update on our litigation efforts. We do have an active lawsuit in partnership with the NAACP and Mi Familia Vota against a group calling itself the U.S. Election Integrity Plan. I think many of you are aware of that. It was scheduled to go to trial on February 5th. There are 3 defendants and who have tried to get this case thrown out multiple times. The judge has not ruled in their favor except one time, which was when the defendants said you can't sue the U.S. Election Integrity Plan because it's not an organization. It hasn't been true. It's just a loose group of people. There's no organization to sue. So the judge said, all right, then so now we're suing the 3 founders. Their names are Sean Smith, Ashley Epp, and Holly Kaysen. Ashley Epp and Holly Kaysen, all three defendants were using the same lawyer. It's the same lawyer who's serving as legal counsel for former President Trump's appeal to the Colorado Supreme Court. And two of those defendants have fired that lawyer. One of them has kept him. It's unclear as of yet if those two people will be representing themselves or if they are looking for other counsel. They asked the judge for a continuance that was granted. The trial will now go in July. They also asked to reopen discovery, and that was denied. So the case has been pushed back, and our lawyers are not particularly nervous about this. So, any questions there?
Yeah, I have a question. I guess in part because apparently they think they're headquartered here in Grand Junction. They have a website. They're a .org. That's just odd to me that they wouldn't be an organization.
Agree.
I'd like to put a link to this on our website. Is there a write-up, like an official write-up, like tracker for this? I mean, I think it's got some local interest for sure. I'd like to put a link to, this litigation and, kind of the latest updates on our website if it's available.
It is not right now, but let's talk about that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, I'll get back to you on that. Irene's here. Irene, do you want to say hello?
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
I got on a meeting with the US. So I apologize. I'm running late on this one.
Can you tell us anything or not?
No.
Okay.
Not this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next is program planning. I hope you all know that National wants to hear from you about program planning by March 1st. It is not a requirement. You're not required to do program planning. And for those of you who are new, program planning is the term inexplicably used to look at league stances on issues, positions on issues, and deciding if they need to be updated or removed or changed or amended. So I just put a link in the chat to the guide to national program planning. If anyone has any questions, I think they email program planning. I'm putting this in at lwv.org. Okay. Our annual meeting is scheduled for May 17th and 18th.
And my birthday is the 19th.
Yes, the day before Chris's birthday. So we will likely be singing a little song to her before we adjourn. Let me know if anybody else has a birthday during that time. National Convention in DC is from June 27th through 30th. Okay, somebody asked for an update on our eyewitness program, which is our beefed up Observer Corps program based on the pilot that the Larimer League did. We did receive an initial grant to roll out this program in 2 leagues. We will be applying for more funding immediately, and so hope to be adding more leagues. I hope to be up to 10 leagues by the end of the year. The first 2 leagues we're rolling out in are Jeffco and Colorado Springs. Those 2 leagues were chosen just because we have media partners in pocket. So what this program is Observer Corps, you know, a foundational league governmental watchdog program where league volunteers attend governmental meetings and ensure that sunshine laws and democratic ideals are followed. If they're not, that volunteer reports back to their local league and the local league decides what to do. Should we write a letter to that governmental entity requesting changes? Should we write a letter to the editor of the local paper letting folks know that this is happening? Should we organize a mass protest? You know, it's up to the local league. So Eyewitness program is the same thing, but it's partnering Observer Corps with a local media partner. And we'll be pairing observers with reporters, reporters who don't have the bandwidth to go to these meetings, but still want the general public to know what's happening. So league observers will be sending their reports to reporters for publication and distribution. So enhancing the citizens' right to know, while hopefully reducing news deserts and strengthening local media. So we see this as multi-pronged benefits. Grant money will be used to pay eyewitnesses. And I have heard some league members say, what? I don't need to get paid. That's fine. If you don't want to get paid, that is just fine. Donate it back to your local league. Hey, all of a sudden it's a local league fundraiser. Win, win, win. So we are developing a guide, and Larimer has been instrumental in that. Thank you, Sonia, especially Sonia, who worked hard on drawing that up. But Jane was hugely involved too, I know. So let's answer some questions. Brenda.
Yeah, is there any kind of specialized training that we
Yes.
would need to, especially to have our reports put in the paper? And
yes,
how are the papers receiving that? I mean, I guess I could see potentially some pushback from the papers if their own reporters aren't doing the reporting. How's that working?
Well, we have been met with strong enthusiasm, but you're right, it's not going to appeal to every paper. So this might not work for every league. You need to have a willing newspaper to work with you. There will absolutely be training. Larimer has already set up a training module, and we'll be tweaking it a bit based on what each individual paper needs. Some papers, some reporters might develop enough trust with their assigned eyewitness that they're good just taking their reports and printing them. Others might not be like that. They want video documentation, audio documentation, just some way to go back and confirm that what's in the report is what actually happened. So it's going to be very individualized. We'll be working with individual leagues and individual papers to bring this together and make it work for both entities. Okay.
Beth, I could offer if the relationship with newspapers, whatever that would end up being, or say you're in an area without a news outlet, we're trying to do a Substack with our reports so that it's not contingent on a newspaper using it, but that it would exist, the information would exist in its own channel for a league to go back or, send anyone to see.
That's a great point. Could you explain a little more about that? Like, what's a Substack?
So Substack, I'm actually a member of Medium, and Substack is like Medium. It's a bunch of blogs and there's all kinds of topics on there. And so it's like our own channel. And that Substack could be, it can have sub channels on it if there were going to be multiple leagues under, one league name. That's a possibility, but without a lot of detail. It's, if you sign on to it, then you would get to your email. It would say, new post submitted, and then, oh, county commissioner meeting. You might go look, or you might wait until it's the meeting you want, but it at least allows the reports to exist in a format that league controls, in a place that league is not in a mother may I position with an industry that's pretty busy. I mean, we've run into, like, people think it's a cool idea, and how long will it take them to actually activate? It's the industry's already pretty decimated. So getting them to work with us has been one of the bigger challenges, but I'm delighted to hear that the two leagues, first up, already have relationships in place. That's going to be great.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, thanks to the guinea pigs at in Jeffco and Colorado Springs. Kathy.
I just wanted to say I love this Substack model. I think it's wonderful, and it's getting. So I subscribe to it. I'm getting notification. I get articles right in my email, and it's all kinds of things that maybe don't meet the threshold for a local newspaper or more. I mean, there are important stories on school district goings on and town council stuff, and I think it's wonderful. So I just wanted to say that I think that model is really something to take a look at, because it does reach people pretty easily.
Great, thanks, Kathy. Maud.
How are the next 7 or 8 leagues being picked?
Well, we got to get some money first. So that's the first step. I will be reaching out to local leagues to poll them. Hey, how many of you know your local newspapers? We also have relationships, through the Colorado Media Project and things like that. So we'll be going at it from a couple different directions, from the local league side and from the newspaper side. Hey, Sonia, can you post a link to the Substack in chat?
Sure, I'll get that up.
Thanks. Thanks, Margie, for your note. Okay. Yeah, now, that's all I have on my agenda. We are opening up the floor. Irene, is there anything you wanted to say?
No, I'm just so glad everybody's on here. We have 27 participants. That's awesome. No, I'm going to hear from them.
It's New Year.
We did get notice last night that our newest league in Park County has been accepted by the National Board of Directors. They're an official league.
Ooh.
Yay! Anybody else for the good of the order? Linda.
Okay, I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, but you talked about program planning. And when you fill out your survey, please consider adding local news and democracy to the items you'd like to see prioritized, because there's the League of Women Voters of Washington is planning on asking for a national concurrence for that position. The position's originated with the League of Women Voters of Washington. So, you know, if you put down those, that's the wording that Washington wants to use, and it's just like in a Google search or something, if the exact words are used more often, it will get up higher in the list. So if you could add local news and democracy.
Local news and democracy.
Right. Thanks.
Brenda.
Yeah, can you give us a quick update on how the ballot initiative 89 is going with petitions?
Oh,
and
good idea.
Jane Dunk, you want to say something?
Yes, actually, in the last week or so, probably 2 weeks, we've had a massive uptake in people being interested in getting these initiative ballot or petitions out. I have received some back. I don't have good counts from the campaign yet, although I have requested to find out how many signatures we have. So I will make that request again today. But the more people we get out there, the better this is going to go. But the last couple weeks we've had much more interest than in, say, in December. So
will you guys keep adding training sessions? Because we're going to be on campus in a couple weeks, and hopefully we're going to try to recruit more students to circulate the petition. And our scheduled meeting is the same day as the last training that's on the calendar so far.
okay, I will add some more.
Perfect. Thank you.
For those of you that don't know, especially to our newer members, Cheryl and Nancy, LWVCO is involved with the campaign for Coloradans for Protecting Reproductive Freedom. Initiative 89, we're trying to get that on the November ballot. It will codify the right to abortion in the Colorado Constitution, which includes allowance in public insurance programs for state employees, which is currently barred. Deb.
Hi, I just wanted to let everybody know about something that we have learned about the Colorado language translation hotline. One of our priorities has been engaging Latino voters. And of course, we were very excited when the state level Colorado language translation hotline went active. So I spoke to someone in the Secretary of State's office and had this confirmed by our local county clerk. The total usage of that translation hotline in the last election was 6 users for the state. So our league is working on trying to figure out how to publicize this very valuable tool. And I just, and we have a relatively small Latino population, but certainly for some of the counties that have a higher, especially the ones that, some of the counties that have a higher Latino population might really want to think about how to make this known to their, to their citizens. So just wanted to let people know about that.
Will you put a link to the website?
Which website?
How do they get to know about that? I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah, well, I don't know how they did either. Obviously, they had a way to count users. Our Mesa County clerk said, we've never had anybody use that. And I was like, okay, well, we don't have that many Latinos in the state. There were 6 users. So the state had a statewide county clerk meeting recently, and this was one of the things that was discussed. I don't think they discussed a way to get better use. When I talked to someone in the Secretary of State's office, I said, geez, this is kind of, not really meeting its purpose. Do you have any plans to try to, up the use? And this person I talked to, who I have no idea what her level of involvement was, says, well, the county clerks are required to post a notification that this is available. at I think the VSPCs, but we don't really plan anything else. And I was like, okay, this kind of seems like a league opportunity.
Well,
yeah.
I think we need to find more out about it and how we can
Yeah.
help support it and publicize it.
Yeah, the language assistance hotline, because we have more focused on promoting the election protection hotlines here that are in different languages, but that's a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what the language translation hotline does is for counties that are not required to publish ballots in multiple languages, they were trying to provide access for non-fluent English speakers. It's not a great model because what it is, you know, a primarily Spanish-speaking voter can either call a phone number that the Secretary of State has, so you can access it from your house, and then that at that phone number, you will get connected to a translator for your language. However, all they do is translate, so that's oral. So the person that is doing the translation basically reads the ballot in this other language, like Spanish. So it's not ideal because there's nothing written. And of course, we all know how cumbersome ballot language is. So anybody who's not fluent in English may not be very fluent in voting procedures in general, but that's what's available. They're also available at voter service polling centers. There's actually a phone there that people can use to get direct access to a translator, not have to go through the Secretary of State's office. But again, it's cumbersome. When we were talking to our county clerk, she said that I think the Secretary of State had made available some handheld instant translation devices that they had at the voter service polling centers. I don't know how frequently those were used. So, this is kind of a big deal in terms of language justice. The state is trying to provide some resources, but the resources that they have are not being well used. And the question is because it's so cumbersome, or is it because people just don't know about it? So just that I let people know about that.
And obviously, these are people in counties not required to print ballots.
Yes. I mean, it's available to anyone, but if you're already getting a Spanish printed ballot, you don't need to use it.
And that's only certain counties. Okay.
Right.
Barbara Dungy, then Barbara Winery.
Wait, before we leave this, I want to say something. It's all languages. So they should be able to call, it's not just Spanish. So
no, it's multiple languages. I'm not sure I'd say all, but
it's all, no, they're saying just about all languages except the sign language because they don't have video.
No, Spanish, Korean, Mandarin, Taiwanese, and Vietnamese.
Really?
Oh, other languages are available on request.
Yeah. Just like I do it at the hospital. And let me just tell you that I do this all day long at the hospital. I probably are on a language line 10, 15 times a day. I'm on a language line. It's very easy to use. It is very helpful. I'm navigating very difficult medical terms with people, with patients, etc. And we pull it off at the hospital. We should be able to pull it off for our voters, I think. I think this is something, you're right, we should get behind and promote.
Okay. Sold.
Thank you.
Barbara Dungy.
This is great. I learned so much. I also wanted to mention, in addition to the excellent local news concurrence proposal, there's a second one that I will be asking people in local leagues and in the state to recommend for prioritization. And that is another healthcare concurrence resolution. It's with the state of Vermont's, the League of Women Voters of Vermont's healthcare privatization position, which they just passed, I believe, in December. And I'm just now getting up-to-date information because I was a little confused at first when I was attending those National Healthcare Reform for US League National Committee meetings on healthcare. What it really is designed to do is not to obliterate existing private healthcare providers, but to slow the transition from, you know, say community or nonprofit healthcare to privatized, which is more for profit, because Vermont did a study and found that that can lead to worse outcomes for consumers and patients. So there'll be more information about this, and we'll be doing an ask in February of local leagues and of the state to consider prioritizing this so that we can get a good vote on it at the national convention this year. Thank you.
Thanks, Barb. Other Barb.
I was going to mention that, you know, and many of you filled out, and I really want to thank you about the feedback on ballot issues from this past fall. Person did mention that perhaps it would be a good idea to have some oral support of the ballot issues. I know we've talked about maybe doing individual videos for each of the ballot issues by league. Maybe we can think about doing that. This is for the visually impaired, but also for the dual language people. So I'm just going to say it's been a recommended, and we haven't discussed it yet, but it's out there for further discussion.
Thanks, Barb. Brenda.
Yeah, just real quick back on the translation. For our school board forums, we had headphones ready for translation for our Spanish speakers, and we got 0 takers. So I think the issue is deeper than just having it available. I think we got to figure out how to really reach that community. I mean, we have one of our city employees is a liaison into that community, and he was the one that helped organize all this, and we still didn't get any takers attending to utilize that service. So it's a much deeper issue than just having it available.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be thinking about how we can, because this is a new program, you know, it was only rolled out last year. So we've got a meeting next week with the umbrella organization known as Colorado Civic Engagement Roundtable. And that's about 42 different civic engagement groups. So I think I will try to get this language hotline on the agenda there and see if we can't get a group push to better advertise on that. Nancy, did I see your hand raised?
Yeah, I have some weird ideas sometimes, but something just came to mind
We all
about
do.
yeah, about linking up the language assistance hotline with the local libraries. For example, I go to an intercambio group every Wednesday to learn Spanish, and there's a woman there who's trying to learn English better so she can help her Spanish speaking acquaintance kind of navigate the system. And also the group is facilitated by a woman who's initially from Venezuela. I do know in the library system, there are a lot of people from different countries, so they, you know, might be willing to help out and provide resources and ideas about how to, you know, get people to know about that program. So also if the library could publicize it right before election or something like that to let people know about its availability, just an idea.
Great, thanks. Yeah, I'll be reaching out to the Secretary of State's office to see if there's any kind of like graphics or something that we can distribute out to you all for posting on social media and things like that. And when I get those things, we can also send them on to the state librarian that Karen Sheik developed a partnership with. And she can push those down to the libraries. Good idea.
Good idea.
Anything else?
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
This is Chris. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I was at the one of those migrant meetings yesterday, was, those people from those different countries was that they had that meeting. It was
Yes.
and those people there were sort of disappointed because there was too many different languages of Spanish, and it was sort of getting out of control yesterday. Because
Really, too
everybody
many.
don't. Yeah, it's too many languages of Spanish, and I think that's one of the things because they was trying to pass out those earphone things yesterday, and it wasn't the same Spanish as the Spanish they know.
Okay, different dialects, kind.
Yeah, that word.
Okay.
I'm like, because I'm thinking I was confused. I was there for 2 hours, and the meeting was really out of control to me. Because I don't speak English, but they was talking English, and they was talking it too fast. So we, us that speak English, they would for the people to interpret. We couldn't understand. This both sound Spanish up.
Huh. Okay. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for letting us know about that.
Sure. Yeah.
Cheryl Ott, you joined late. Welcome. But we didn't get to allow you to introduce yourself. Would you like to do that?
Hi. Yeah, I didn't realize this would be an introduce yourself kind of event. This is the first chance I've had to participate in something like this. I will say that Maud is a friend of mine and got me interested in the league's work, and I hope to become more involved. Right now I'm studying to take the bar at the end of next month, so I haven't been able to be too involved, but I saw that this was going to be during lunchtime and a chance to catch up on issues, so I thought I'd just dial in and check it out. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much. Welcome and good luck on the bar. Wow. Maud?
Is Mi Familia Voto part of that civic engagement group?
Absolutely. Yeah. As well as Cirque and Claro and several other Latino advocacy organizations. So.
Super.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, I think you all know how to get a hold of me, but I'm putting my email in the chat. Don't hesitate. We're here to serve. And we're here to serve you. So be in touch, and thank you for all that you are doing to empower voters and defend democracy. Let's keep Colorado where it is and not let it go the way of Ohio or Florida or any of the other problem states. So
Thank you, Beth.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Bye-bye.